Peyton Williams Manning is an American football quarterback for the Denver Broncos of the National Football League. A five-time league MVP, he played for the Indianapolis Colts for 14 seasons from 1998 to 2011. He is a son of former NFL quarterback Archie Manning and an elder brother of New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning. Manning played college football for the University of Tennessee, leading the Volunteers to the 1997 Seconds Championship in his senior season. However, number 3 Tennessee lost to the number 2 Nebraska Cornhuskers 42-17 in the Orange Bowl, giving Nebraska and Tom Osborne their third national championship in 4 years. He was chosen by the Indianapolis Colts with the first overall pick in the 1998 NFL Draft. Manning's playing career and statistics have ranked him among the greatest quarterbacks of all time. From 1998 to 2010, he led the Colts to 8 division championships, 2 AFC championships, and 1 Super Bowl championship. His 5 NFL MVPs are a league record. He was the most valuable player of Super Bowl XLI, has been named to 13 Pro Bowls, has 13 4,000-yard passing seasons, and is the Indianapolis Colts all-time leader in passing yards and touchdown passes. In 2009, he was named the best player in the NFL, and Fox Sports, along with Sports Illustrated, named him the NFL Player of the Decade for the 2000s. Before the 2013 season had even finished, SI had named him their Sportsman of the Year. In May 2011, he underwent neck surgery to alleviate neck pain and arm weakness he dealt with during the previous few seasons before signing a 5-year, $90 million contract extension with the Colts in July 2011. Manning had hoped to play in the 2011 season, but in September 2011 he underwent a second, and much more serious surgery, a level 1 cervical fusion procedure. Manning had never missed an NFL game in his career, but was forced to miss the entire 2011 season. He was released by the Colts on March 7, 2012. And after an almost 2-week period where he visited with and worked out for several NFL teams, he signed with the Denver Broncos on March 20, 2012. Manning's pre-snap routine has earned him the nickname the Sheriff, and he is one of the most recognizable and parodied players in the NFL. Teams led by Manning more often than not use the hurry-up offense in place of the standard huddle. High school career: Manning attended Isidore Newman School in New Orleans, Louisiana. He led his team to a 34-5 record during 3 seasons as starter. He was named Gatorade Circle of Champions National Player of the Year and Columbus Touchdown Club National Offensive Player of the Year in 1993. College career: Manning surprised many when he chose to attend the University of Tennessee and play for the Tennessee Volunteers football team, instead of attending the University of Mississippi, his father's alma mater. He became Tennessee's all-time leading passer with 11,201 yards and 89 touchdowns and won 39 of 45 games as a starter, breaking the Southeastern Conference record for career wins. As a freshman, Manning was the third-string quarterback, but injuries to Todd Helton and Jerry Colquitt forced him to take over the Mississippi State game, a 24-21 loss. In his first start, the following week against Washington State, the Vols won, 10-9, and the Vols won all but one of their remaining games, finishing the season 8-4 with a 45-23 victory over Virginia Tech in the Gator Bowl. Manning and the Vols started off the 1995 season with victories over East Carolina and Georgia, before heading off to Gainesville to play the Gators. Against Florida, he threw for 326 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading the Vols to a 30-21 half-time lead. However, the Gators outscored the Vols 41-7 in the second half, winning 62-37. This was the Vols' only loss of the season, as they won their remaining 8 regular season games, including a 41-14 win over Alabama and then defeated Ohio State in the Citrus Bowl. The Vols ended the season ranked 3rd and Manning came in 6th in Heisman Trophy voting. The Vols opened the 1996 season ranked 2nd behind Nebraska and one of the favorites to win the national championship. However, after winning their first 2 games against UNLV and UCLA, the Vols again lost to Florida 35-29, with Manning throwing 4 interceptions. After winning their next 4 games, the Vols were upset by Memphis, despite Manning passing for 296 yards. The Vols won the remainder of their games, including a 48-28 win in the Citrus Bowl over Northwestern, a game in which Manning passed for 480 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was named the game's MVP. Manning completed his degree in 3 years, a Bachelor's of Arts in Speech Communication, and was projected to be the top overall pick in the NFL draft, but returned to Tennessee for his senior year. In his senior season, the Vols opened the season with victories against Texas Tech and UCLA, but for the 3rd time in his career, Manning fell to Florida 33-20. The Vols won the rest of their regular season games, finishing 10-1, and advanced to the SEC championship game against Auburn. Down 20-7, Manning led the Vols to a 30-29 victory. Throwing for 4 touchdowns, he was named the game's MVP, but injured himself in the process. The 3rd-ranked Vols were matched up with 2nd-ranked Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. If Tennessee won and top-ranked Michigan lost to Washington State in the Rose Bowl, the Vols would win the national championship. However, the Vols' defense could not stop Nebraska's rushing attack, giving up over 400 rushing yards in a 42-17 loss. As a senior, Manning won numerous awards. He was a consensus first-team All-American, the Maxwell Award winner, the Davey O'Brien Award winner, the Johnny Unitas Award winner, and the Best College Player Aspire Award winner, among others. However, he did not win the Heisman, finishing runner-up to Charles Woodson. In 2005, Tennessee retired Manning's number. One of the streets leading to Neyland Stadium has been renamed Peyton Manning Pass. Manning was elected to Phi Beta Kappa Society in 1997. Professional career, Indianapolis Colts, 1998 season, rookie season. Despite concerns about his arm strength and mobility, Manning was selected 1st overall in the 1998 draft by the Indianapolis Colts. Although many considered Ryan Leaf his rival for the first selection in the draft, and Leaf's quarterback rating was higher, all 6 experts Sports Illustrated consulted believed that Manning was superior. 5 said that they would take him 1st in the draft. Sid Gilman said of Manning, "This is a pro quarterback." In his rookie season, he passed for 3,739 yards with 26 touchdowns, set 5 different NFL rookie records including most touchdown passes in a season, and was named to the NFL All-Rookie First Team. Manning's first win came against fellow rookie Leaf, 17-12 over the Chargers. Weeks later, Manning faced off against Steve Young. He threw 3 touchdowns, tying a Colts rookie record, but the 49ers kicked a late field goal to win 34-31. In November against the Jets, Manning threw for 3 touchdowns in a 24-23 win. He was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week for this performance. It was the first game-winning drive of Manning's career, as he hit Marcus Pollard with the game-winning TD pass. Manning was certainly a bright spot in 1998 for the Colts, but he also threw a league-high 28 interceptions as the team struggled to a 3-13 record with a defense that gave up more than 27 points per game. The Colts lost many close games, including 5 games in which they had led by double digits at some point. 1999-2001, the Colts opened the 1999 season with a 31-14 victory over Buffalo, but gave up a 28-7 lead the following week against the Patriots and lost. After defeating San Diego 27-19 in a game in which Manning threw for over 400 yards, and was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week, they lost again, to Miami. The Colts responded by winning 11 of their remaining 12 games, finishing 13-3 and the AFC East champions. The 10-game turnaround from the previous year set an NFL record. As the second seed in the AFC, the Colts earned a first-round bye, and faced Tennessee in the playoffs. The Colts lost 19-16 to the Super Bowl-bound Titans and Manning was limited to 1 touchdown run. Manning finished the year with 4,135 passing yards and 26 passing touchdowns, and was named both second-team All-Pro and to the Pro Bowl, both firsts for him. In the Pro Bowl, he passed for 270 yards with 2 touchdowns. The Colts started the 2000 season inconsistently. Following an opening week victory against Kansas City, they blew a 21-0 lead against the Raiders. The Colts responded with a Monday night victory against Jacksonville, a 43-14 win in which Manning threw for 430 yards and 4 touchdowns. Manning was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week for this performance. The Colts won 4 of their next 5 games, including one against New England in which Manning posted the first perfect passer rating of his career, but then lost 4 of the 5 games following that. The Colts regained their momentum, winning their final 3 games, including a 31-10 win over Minnesota on Week 17. Manning threw for 4 touchdowns in the win and was again named AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and the win gave the Colts a 10-6 record as well as a wild card spot in the playoffs. In the wild card game, the Colts fell to the Dolphins 23-17 in overtime. Manning passed for 194 yards and a touchdown in the loss. He finished the season with 4,413 passing yards and 33 passing touchdowns and was named second-team All-Pro and to the Pro Bowl. At the Pro Bowl, Manning threw 2 touchdown passes. Manning and the Colts introduced their now signature no-huddle offense, and used it to great effect in a Week 1 rout of the Jets, 45-24. 2 weeks later the Colts advanced to 2-0 with a win over Buffalo, behind Manning's 421 yards passing. He was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week for this game. However, the Colts lost the following week to New England, and continued their slide, losing their following 2 games. The Colts briefly rebounded, winning 2 games, but then lost 7 of their last 9, including a 40-21 home loss to the 49ers. After Manning threw a career-high 4 interceptions in that game, coach Jim Mora uttered his infamous playoffs. "Don't talk about playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I'm just hoping we can win a game, another game." press conference. Despite the 6-10 record, Manning finished the season with 4,131 passing yards, 26 passing touchdowns, and 4 rushing touchdowns as the offense produced the second most points in the league. However, the defense allowed the most points and Jim Mora was fired after the season. 2002 season, Tony Dungy would become Manning's second head coach in the NFL. The Colts started off the 2002 season 4-1, before a 3-game losing streak sent them to 4-4. The Colts responded by winning all but 2 of their remaining games, including a 35-13 upset of the Eagles in which Manning had a perfect passer rating for the second time in his career, giving them a 10-6 record and a spot in the playoffs. However, the Colts were pummeled by the Jets in the wild card game, 41-0, with Manning passing for only 137 yards. He finished the year with 4,200 passing yards and 27 passing touchdowns and was named to the Pro Bowl team. In the Pro Bowl, Manning completed 5 of 11 passes for 100 yards and a touchdown. 2003 season, first MVP, the 2003 Colts began the season 5-0, including a 55-21 blowout of the Saints in which Manning played his third perfect passer rating game and threw a career-high 6 TD passes, earning him AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. On Monday Night Football against the defending champion Buccaneers, Manning and the Colts trailed 35-14 in the final 5 minutes. After one short TD drive, the Colts recovered the onside kick. Manning threw a 28-yard TD pass to Marvin Harrison on 4th and 6 to make it 35-28. With 1:41 remaining, Manning got the ball back and drove the offense 85 yards for the game-tying TD. He set up the winning 29-yard field goal in overtime for a stunning 38-35 win. It was the only time in NFL history a team won a game after trailing by 21 points in the final 4 minutes of regulation. Manning passed for 386 yards in the game. After an overtime loss to Carolina, the Colts won all but 3 of their remaining games, finishing 12-4. On November 30 the Colts hosted the 9-2 Patriots in what would be the beginning of the NFL's top rivalry of the 2000s. The Colts trailed 31-10 late in the third quarter before Manning threw 3 TD passes in a span of 6 minutes to tie the game. Trailing 38-34 in the final minutes, the Colts had 3 plays at the 1-yard line to try and score the winning TD. Jaron James was stuffed on 4th down by Willie Mischnist and the Patriots won. In a Week 14 win against Atlanta, Manning threw for 5 touchdowns and was named Player of the Week a second time. He also earned AFC Offensive Player of the Month honors for the month of October. In the wild card playoff round, Manning and the Colts defeated the Denver Broncos 41-10, his first playoff win. He passed for 377 yards and 5 touchdowns in the game, earning him a perfect passer rating, his second of the season and the 4th of his career. After the game, Manning was awarded Player of the Week honors for the 3rd time that season. In the divisional playoffs, Manning led the Colts to a 38-31 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Neither team punted in the game. In the AFC title game, Manning was shut down by the New England Patriots' top-ranked defense and posted the 3rd lowest passer rating of his career at 35.5. The Patriots' defense intercepted Manning 4 times and sacked him another 4, as the Colts lost the game 24-14. During the season, Manning was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Month for September and was named the AP NFL Co-MVP along with Titans quarterback Steve McNair. Manning also received the ESPY Award for Best NFL Player. Manning led the league with 4,267 passing yards and threw 29 touchdowns. He was named First Team All-Pro and to the Pro Bowl. He passed for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Pro Bowl, a 55-52 loss. 2004 season, second MVP, the 2004 Colts opened the season with a 27-24 loss to the Patriots, after Mike Vanderjagt missed a game-tying field goal in the closing seconds of the game. The Colts won their next 4 games including a 45-31 win over Green Bay in which Manning threw 5 touchdowns, earning him AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors, but then lost their next 2 games, to Jacksonville and Kansas City, despite Manning throwing for 840 yards combined in the 2 games. The Colts responded well, winning their next 8 games before losing their final regular season game to Denver, a game in which Manning played only the first series. During the month of November, Manning was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week twice. Once for his 5-touchdown performance in a 49-14 blowout of Houston and once for his performance in a 41-9 win at Detroit on Thanksgiving in which he threw 6 touchdowns in less than 3 quarters. Due to his performances in November, Manning earned AFC Offensive Player of the Month honors. He was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week for a 4th time in the Week 16 game against San Diego where he led the Colts to a 34-31 victory after trailing by 15 in the 4th quarter. With the Colts facing a 4th and 4 at their own 26, Manning waved the punt team off the field and completed a 19-yard pass to Reggie Wayne for the first down. He finished the drive with a 21-yard TD pass to Brandon Stokely, his 49th TD pass of the season, breaking Dan Marino's record of 48. After the 2-point conversion to tie, Manning got the ball first in overtime and set up the winning field goal. The Colts clinched the AFC's 3rd seed with the win. During the season, Manning threw for 4,557 yards, had a then-record 121.1 passer rating and a then-record 49 touchdown passes while throwing only 10 interceptions. Manning's 2004 season was voted the 2nd greatest passing season of all time by ESPN in 2013. He achieved this despite the 2004 season being his only season of his career where he attempted less than 500 passes. His 9.9% touchdown passing percentage is currently the highest in NFL history. His 49 touchdown passes is currently the third highest ever, and his 121.1 passer rating is the second highest ever. He was selected as the 2004 NFL MVP, drawing 49 of 50 votes, was named NFL Offensive Player of the Year, and was named the best NFL player at the ESPY Awards for the second consecutive year. Manning also received the ESPY Award for Best Record-Breaking Performance for his 49 touchdown passes. The Colts finished the season with a 12-4 record and their second straight AFC South title. The Colts scored a franchise record 522 points. 3 Colts receivers had 1,000-yard seasons with at least 10 touchdowns that season, also a record. Sports statistics site Football Outsiders calculates that Manning had the best season ever by a quarterback, play-for-play, in 2004. In the wild card game against Denver, Manning passed for 458 yards and 4 touchdowns. However, the Colts' 2004 season ended in Foxborough for a second straight year with a 20-3 loss against New England, when Manning recorded a season-low passer rating of 69.3. It was Manning's 7th consecutive loss to the Patriots in Foxborough, and the Colts' 3 points were their lowest single-game point total since their opening game of the 2003 season. Manning was named a Pro Bowl starter. In the Pro Bowl, he threw 3 touchdowns in a 38-27 victory and was named the game's MVP. Manning was also a unanimous first-team All-Pro selection. 2005 season. In 2005, the Colts had a greatly improved offense over that of recent years. Combining this with their offense, they won their first 13 games, including a 40-21 rout of the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, New England. This was Manning's first road win against the Patriots in 8 attempts, and his 3 touchdowns passes earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. By Week 15, the Colts had a perfect 13-0 record, and had secured the AFC South and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Nevertheless, Tony Dungy made the decision to play all of his regular starters against the Chargers. However, the Colts played a subpar game against the Chargers and fell short of a win. The score was 26-17. Manning finished the season with 3,747 passing yards, the first time he had thrown for under 4,000 yards since his rookie season of 1998, largely because Manning sat out much of the final 2 games with the top AFC seed clinched. His quarterback rating of 104.1 was the highest in the league for the season. In the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers visited the RCA Dome for the second AFC divisional playoff game of the 2005 season. In the fourth quarter, with only a few minutes left in the game, Manning threw what looked to be the game-ending interception to Troy Polamalu, but the interception was overturned. The Colts went on to score, and were able to get the ball back down 3 points near the end of the game. On 4th down, Manning was sacked near his own goal line, and the game seemed to be over as the Steelers were 1 yard from a touchdown. On the next play, the ball was fumbled by Jerome Bettis and picked up by Colts defender Nick Harper, who appeared to have a clear path down the sideline for what might have been the game-winning score. However, Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger managed to dive in front of Harper and tackle him by the leg, saving a touchdown. Then the Colts drove down the field to the Steelers' 27-yard line, before Mike Vanderjagt missed a field goal as time ran out. Manning came in second in voting for the MVP award to Shaun Alexander, ending his streak at 2 years. He was named the 2005 winner of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award and nominated for the FedEx Air Player of the Year award, along with Tom Brady and Carson Palmer. Manning was also named first-team All-Pro for the 3rd consecutive year and named to the Pro Bowl squad. In the Pro Bowl, he threw 1 touchdown pass and 3 interceptions. 2006 season, Super Bowl championship. Manning opened the 2006 season against his brother Eli's New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. It was the first NFL game with starting quarterbacks that were brothers, and Peyton's team won 26-21. Manning passed for 400 yards against the Texans in a 43-24 victory, which earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. A second trip to New York, this time to play the Jets, produced another Colts win. After taking the lead twice in the fourth quarter, Manning had to lead a third scoring drive, this time finishing with a 1-yard QB sneak rushing TD in the last minute for a 31-28 win. At Denver, Manning again led 3 scoring drives in the fourth quarter in a 34-31 shootout win. He completed 32 of 39 passes for 345 yards and 3 TDs. Following a second straight season with a win at New England, then a home win against Buffalo, the Colts were the NFL's last unbeaten team at 9-0. Their first loss would come in Dallas. Plagued by a run defense that would allow over 100 yards in every game, the Colts were 11-4 heading into their final game. Against Miami, Manning threw for 282 yards, 2 TDs and rushed for another TD. The Colts won 27-22, were AFC South Division champions, and clinched the third seed in the AFC playoffs. Manning was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He ended the regular season with 4,397 passing yards and a league-leading 31 touchdown passes. His passer rating was the highest in the league for the third year in a row. Manning helped the offense set a NFL record for third down conversion rate in a season. Despite 3 interceptions, Manning completed 30 out of 38 passes as the Colts beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card playoff game by a score of 23-8. The following week they were limited to 5 field goals and no touchdowns, but defeated the Baltimore Ravens, 15-6. In the AFC Championship game against the rival Patriots, the Colts trailed 14-3 when Manning threw an interception that was returned for a TD by Asante Samuel to give New England a 21-3 lead. Manning led the Colts to 32 points in the second half for a 38-34 victory, the final score coming late in the fourth quarter as Manning led the Colts on an 80-yard TD drive to take the lead for the first time in the game. He finished the game with 349 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. The comeback was the largest deficit ever overcome in a conference championship. Completing 25 of 38 passes for 247 yards with a touchdown and 1 interception, Manning led the Colts to a 29-17 victory over the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl XLI and was voted Super Bowl MVP. Manning, who had been criticized for failing to win big games, exorcised his big game demons with the win. "In years past when our teams come up short, it's been disappointing," he told reporters. "Somehow we found a way to have learned from some of those losses and we've been a better team because of it." For his role in the Colts championship run, Manning was awarded the ESPY for Best Championship Performance. Manning was again named to the Pro Bowl and was also named second-team All-Pro. In the Pro Bowl he played only 2 series, passing for 67 yards. Following the Super Bowl win, Manning agreed to restructure his contract to save the Colts $8.2 million in salary cap space. 2007-2008. Manning's Colts opened the NFL season with 7 wins, pitting them against an undefeated Patriots squad in a matchup that was being called Super Bowl 41.5. Manning and Ad Day helped the Colts to a 13-7 halftime lead, and an early fourth-quarter touchdown up the lead to 20-10. However, Brady led the Patriots to 2 late touchdowns, to hand Manning his first loss of the season, 24-20. Manning finished the game with 225 yards passing, including a passing touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown. Manning did not bounce back from the loss well. Against the San Diego Chargers he threw for a career-worst and franchise-record 6 interceptions. Despite this, he was able to rally the Colts from a 23-0 deficit to 23-21, and gave Adam Vinatieri an opportunity to take the lead with a 29-yard field goal. Vinatieri's miss sunk the Colts to 7-2. Manning did not play particularly well against the Kansas City Chiefs either, throwing no touchdowns. However, he managed to lead the Colts on a late drive for a game-winning field goal, rushing for 2 yards on 4th and 1 in the process. Manning finished the game with 163 passing yards, allowing him to overtake 40,000 in his career. The victory was Manning's 100th. The Colts won their next 5 games, securing yet another AFC South title, as well as the AFC's number 2 seed in the playoffs. In the final game of the regular season, Manning played only 2 series before being replaced with backup Jim Sorgi. The Colts lost the game to the Titans, 16-10. Manning finished the season with 4,040 passing yards, 31 touchdown passes, and a quarterback rating of 98.0. In the divisional round of the playoffs, Manning and the Colts lost to the Chargers, 28-24. Manning helped the Colts to 4 different leads but could not lead a final touchdown drive for the win. Manning finished the game with 402 yards passing and 3 passing touchdowns. Peyton was widely viewed during Super Bowl XLI as he cheered on brother Eli and the New York Giants in their upset of the New England Patriots. Manning was named a Pro Bowl starter and passed for 147 yards and a touchdown in 3 series. On July 14, 2008, Manning had surgery to remove an infected bursa sac in his left knee. Manning, who had worn a knee brace due to problems since he was in college, sat out all 4 preseason games and missed most of training camp. In the first regular season game at New Lucas Oil Stadium, the Colts lost 29-13 to the Chicago Bears. The following week they fell behind 15-0 to the Minnesota Vikings in the second half before rallying to win the game on Adam Vinatieri's 47-yard field goal. Manning passed for 311 yards as the Colts avoided their first 0-2 start since Manning's rookie season. Week 3 matched the Colts with division rival Jacksonville. Manning threw 2 interceptions in the game, including one that was returned for a TD by Archie Manning. Jacksonville rushed for 236 yards and held the ball for over 41 minutes. Still, trailing by 6 late in the game, Manning led the Colts on a 77-yard TD drive to take a 21-20 lead. Jacksonville kicker Josh Scobie made a 51-yard field goal to win the game and drop the Colts to 1-2. For the 3rd week in a row, Manning used the 4th quarter to bring the Colts back from a 27-10 deficit in the last 5 minutes against the Houston Texans to a 31-27 victory. It was the first time an NFL team had won a game in regulation after trailing by 17 points in the last 5 minutes. Manning threw a 7-yard TD pass on 4th and 6 to rookie tight end Tom Santi to make the deficit 27-17. Houston QB Sage Rosenfels, starting for the injured Matt Schaub, then fumbled the ball on a scramble, and it was returned 68 yards for a TD by Gary Brackett. After another Rosenfels fumble, Manning threw the 5-yard game-winning TD pass to Reggie Wayne. The Colts scored 3 TDs in 2-10. On October 12 Manning led the Colts to a 31-3 blowout win at Lucas Oil Stadium against the Baltimore Ravens to avoid their first 0-3 start at home since 1997. Manning was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week for the 17th time in his career for his effort of 3 TD passes and 271 yards passing. It was revealed during the game by CBS commentators Jim Nantz and Phil Simms that Manning had a second surgery on his knee before the season started. Colts coach Tony Dungy confirmed this report the day after the Baltimore game. The Colts suffered their largest margin of defeat, 34-14, in Green Bay the following week. Manning threw 2 interceptions that were returned for touchdowns. The next week the Colts went into Tennessee on Monday Night Football to face the 6-0 Titans. They led 14-6 in the 3rd quarter, but Tennessee scored 25 unanswered for a 31-21 victory and almost assured the Colts they would not win the AFC South Division title for the first time in 6 seasons. At 3-4 the Colts opened up November with their annual showdown against the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football. The game lacked the luster the rivalry has carried, as there was no Tom Brady, no undefeated season on the line, and neither team was in first place of their division. Still, the game was close all the way. Tied at 15 in the 4th quarter, Manning set up Adam Vinatieri for a 52-yard field goal that proved to be the winning points in an 18-15 victory. Manning completed 21 of 29 passes for 254 yards, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. The Colts were 4-4 halfway through the season and still alive in the AFC playoff race. In Week 10 the Colts traveled to Pittsburgh, who had the league's #1 defense. They trailed 17-7 in the second quarter before Manning found Dallas Clark for a 2-yard TD to end the half 17-14. Down 20-17 in the fourth quarter, Manning found Dominic Rhodes uncovered for a 17-yard TD pass that would put the Colts up 24-20 for the rest of the game. It was Manning's fourth game-winning drive this season. He completed 21 of 40 for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was the first time the Colts have won in Pittsburgh since 1968. Against Houston, Manning passed for 320 yards and 2 TDs while leading 5 consecutive scoring drives in a 33-27 victory, the third in a row for the Colts. Manning won AFC Offensive Player of the Week for the second time this season. At San Diego, Manning threw for 255 yards, 2 TDs and 1 INT in a 23-20 victory. The interception snapped a career-best streak of 140 pass attempts without an interception. After the Chargers rallied from a 10-point deficit in the fourth to tie the game, Manning led the game-winning drive by completing a 14-yard pass to Marvin Harrison on 4th and inches at midfield. Adam Vinatieri kicked the winning 51-yard field goal 3 plays later. It was Manning's 5th game-winning drive this season. Manning passed for a season-low 125 yards at Cleveland, but the Colts won their 5th straight game, by a final of 10-6. In a 35-3 victory against the Cincinnati Bengals, Manning threw 3 TD passes while completing 26 of 32 passes for 277 yards. It marked the 11th straight season Manning had thrown at least 20 TD passes, the second longest streak ever. Against the 0-13 Detroit Lions, the Colts found themselves in a 21-21 game in the fourth quarter. Manning led his 6th game-winning drive of the season and the Colts pulled away 31-21. It marked their 7th straight win, 7th straight season with 10-plus wins, and they became the only team in NFL history to have a winning streak of at least 7 games in 5 straight seasons. Manning completed 28 of 37 passes for 318 yards and 1 TD. Needing a win to clinch the 5th seed in the playoffs, Manning had one of his best career performances in Jacksonville on Thursday Night Football. He completed his first 17 passes of the game. In addition to completing his last 6 against Detroit, Manning's 23 straight completions fell one shy of the NFL record. The Colts trailed 14-0 in the first half and 24-14 to start the fourth quarter. Manning led his 7th fourth-quarter win of the season and the Colts put the game away with a defensive TD for a 31-24 victory to clinch a 7th consecutive playoff berth. Manning completed 29 of 34 passes for 364 yards and 3 TDs. It increased his NFL record streak of seasons with 25 TD passes to 11. Manning and the Colts tied an NFL record by winning 3 games in a season in which they trailed by at least 14 points. For his efforts Manning won AFC Offensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time in 2008. It was the 19th time he has won the award, passing Dan Marino for the most all-time since the award was originated in 1984. He also was selected as the FedEx Air Player of the Week. With the playoff seed secured, Manning only played the opening drive in a shutout against the division-leading Titans in Week 17. He completed all 7 of his passes for 95 yards and a TD, extending his NFL record to 9 seasons with 4,000 yards passing, and also extended the record to a 6th straight season he led the Colts to at least 12 wins. At the end of the 2008 season, Manning was named NFL MVP for the 3rd time, tying Brett Favre for the most MVP awards in NFL history. The day following the MVP award, the Colts played their 2007 nemesis, the Chargers, in their wild card playoff game. Down 14-10 at the half, Manning put the Colts ahead 17-14 in the third quarter as he completed a 72-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Reggie Wayne. But the Chargers tied the game in the fourth quarter as kicker Nate Corrading nailed a 22-yard field goal. When San Diego won the coin toss, they scored on the first possession, ending the Colts' season. 2009 season, fourth MVP and second Super Bowl appearance. Under new head coach Jim Caldwell, Manning started the 2009 season with a victory by throwing for 301 yards. In Week 2 Manning led his 29th fourth-quarter comeback by throwing for 303 yards and 2 TD passes, despite only having the ball for 14:53, the lowest time of possession for a winning team in the NFL since they began tracking the statistic in 1977. Manning was named AFC Offensive Player of the Month for the fourth time in his career in September. Against the Seattle Seahawks Manning passed for 353 yards and 2 TDs for his fourth consecutive 300-yard passing game, set a new franchise record. Against Houston Texans in Week 9 he became the first quarterback to pass for over 40,000 yards in a decade. He threw a career-high 25 passes in the first quarter, and had a career-high 40 pass attempts in the first half. He set a franchise record for most 300-yard passing games in a season with his seventh 300-yard effort of the season. Against Houston 3 weeks later Manning claimed his 34th comeback win in the fourth quarter, tying him with John Elway and Johnny Unitas for the second most in NFL history. On Week 15 against the Jacksonville Jaguars Manning won his 23rd consecutive regular season game, breaking Jim McMahon's NFL record of 22 straight wins with the Chicago Bears from 1984-87. At the end of the regular season Manning was awarded his fourth MVP, breaking the NFL record for most MVPs by a single player. He was also selected to the AP All-Pro team for the fifth time in his career. In the AFC Divisional against the Baltimore Ravens Manning threw 2 TD passes late in the first half to build a 17-3 half-time lead. He completed 30 passes for 246 yards in leading his 8th straight victory over the Ravens. In the AFC Championship against New York Jets Manning overcame a 17-6 deficit late in the second quarter to lead the Colts to 24 unanswered points in a 30-17 win. The 11-point comeback was the third largest in a championship game. Manning set a playoff record with his seventh 300-yard passing game in the postseason. In Super Bowl XLI against New Orleans Saints, Manning led the Colts to a 10-0 lead after their two first-quarter drives, throwing a TD pass to Pierre Garçon to cap off a 96-yard drive. After running just 6 plays in the second quarter, the Colts led 10-6 at halftime. The Saints recovered an onside kick to start the second half and took their first lead, 13-10. Manning led a go-ahead TD drive to regain the lead. Leading 17-16 at the start of the fourth quarter, Matt Stover missed a 51-yard field goal for the Colts. The Saints scored the go-ahead TD and 2-point conversion to take a 24-17 lead with 5:42 left. Manning took over and moved the Colts to the Saints' 31-yard line. Facing a 3rd and 5 with 3:24 left, his pass intended for Reggie Wayne was intercepted by Tracy Porter, who returned it 74 yards for a critical TD and 31-17 Saints lead. Manning drove the Colts down to the 5-yard line in the last minute, but his 4th and goal pass was dropped by Reggie Wayne at the goal line. The Saints won their first Super Bowl, dropping Manning to 9-9 in the postseason. Manning passed for 333 yards on 31/45, with 1 TD and 1 interception. 2010 season. In a season-opening loss in Houston, Manning set career highs in pass attempts and completions, throwing for 3 TDs and 433 yards, the 4th highest opening weekend total ever. In his third game Manning passed for 325 yards. 3 TDs and no interceptions, marking the first time since 1960 a QB began a season with 3 consecutive games of at least 3 TD passes and 0 interceptions. Against the Kansas City Chiefs Manning failed to throw a TD for the first time in 2010, but led the Colts on a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter to hand the Chiefs their first loss of the season. In Week 6 against the Washington Redskins he passed for 307 yards and 2 TDs. Including the playoffs, that was 68 career games with 300-plus yards passing, moving him ahead of Dan Marino for the most in NFL history. Week 9 against the Philadelphia Eagles marked his 200th consecutive regular season start. Against the New England Patriots Manning passed for 396 yards, 4 TDs and 3 interceptions, the second time Manning threw 4 TDs in a game and breaking a tie with Dan Marino for second most all-time. The next week was resulted in the largest margin of defeat at home in his NFL career, 36-14 to the San Diego Chargers. Against the Tennessee Titans he went over 4,000 yards passing for the 11th time in a season, and tied Dan Marino with his 63rd regular season game with 300-plus yards passing. Manning was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week for this game. The Colts ended up winning the AFC South for the 7th time in 8 years, and Manning became the first QB in NFL history to lead his team to 9 consecutive postseason berths. It was the 208th consecutive regular season start of his career, breaking Gene Upshaw's record. For the season, Manning finished with the NFL record 450 completions on 679 attempts, and a career-high 4,700 yards passing. The season ended in a 1-point defeat to the New York Jets in the playoff. In 2010, he was chosen as the 14th smartest athlete in sports by Sporting News. 2011 season, the Colts placed their franchise tag on Manning on February 15, 2011. On July 30, 2011, the Colts signed Manning to a 5-year, $90 million contract after negotiations in which he made it clear that he did not need to be the highest-paid player in the NFL. After a May 23 neck surgery, Manning could not use the Colts' facilities for practice and workouts due to the NFL lockout. Reluctant to have witnesses to his recovery, he used the Colorado Rockies baseball team's trainers at Coors Field in Denver. Manning was unable to complete his throwing motion, and his arm strength had significantly diminished. Based on an MRI, doctors told him in the late summer that he needed spinal fusion surgery and that at his age they could not guarantee his return to the NFL. On September 7 the Colts officially ruled Manning out for the season opener against Houston, ending his consecutive starts streak of 208 games. The team signed Kerry Collins out of retirement and named him interim starting quarterback. After seeking other opinions, Manning had the second surgery on September 8. Manning stated that while he did intend to play during the 2011 season, he would not fight the front office to stay off injured reserve if his roster spot was needed. Manning started practicing throwing footballs again in mid-December, with teammate Joseph Abday even claiming his passes looked game-ready. Ultimately, Manning did not play a single game in 2011, and the Colts went to a Euro 14 without him, only the second season since Manning was a rookie that the Colts did not win at least 10 games. Manning was released by the Colts on March 7, 2012. Upon his release, Colts owner Jim Irsay announced that no Colt will ever wear the number 18 jersey again. Denver Broncos. Manning reached an agreement with the Broncos on a 5-year contract worth $96 million on March 20, 2012. Although number 18 is retired in honor of Frank Tripucka, he gave Manning permission to wear it. 2012 season. On Thursday, August 9, 2012 Manning made his first appearance as a Bronco in a preseason game against the Chicago Bears, where he completed 4 of 7 passes for 44 yards, and was intercepted once by Bears safety Major Wright. Manning made his regular season debut as a Denver Bronco in the primetime game on the first Sunday of the 2012 NFL season, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the game, Manning completed 19 of 26 passes for 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He posted a 129.2 QB rating in the 31-19 win, and made history in the third quarter when he connected with Demaryius Thomas on a 71-yard touchdown pass. The touchdown was Manning's first in the NFL with a team other than the Colts, and marked the 400th of his career, making him the third quarterback, after Dan Marino and Brett Favre, to accomplish the feat and the fastest of the 3 to reach that mark. Despite the preseason concerns about his recovery, by late October ESPN stated that Manning has silenced the critics about his arm strength. Manning was later named to the 2013 Pro Bowl, his 12th. On February 2, 2013, Manning was awarded the AP National Football League Comeback Player of the Year award and was named a first-team All-Pro selection, in addition to finishing second in MVP voting. The Broncos made the playoffs, but lost 38-35 in double overtime to Baltimore, who went on to win Super Bowl XLI that season. 2013 season, 5th MVP. On the opening game of the 2013 NFL season, Manning became one of only 6 players in NFL history to throw 7 touchdowns in a game, doing so against the defending Super Bowl XLI champions, the Baltimore Ravens. He added to this feat by not throwing an interception, tying Y.A. Tittle as one of the only 2 players to have a 7-0 touchdown-to-interception ratio in a single game. Against the Oakland Raiders in Week 3, Manning broke the record for most touchdown passes in the first 3 games of a season after throwing 12, surpassing Tom Brady's 2011 record. In Week 5, Manning threw his first interception of the season, in a win against the Dallas Cowboys. He was intercepted by Morris Claiborne. In Week 16 against the Houston Texans, Manning broke Brady's record for most touchdown passes in a season with 51 on a 25-yard touchdown pass to Julius Thomas. He finished the regular season with 55 touchdown passes, in addition to throwing for a league record 5,477 yards. His 450 completions is tied for second most all-time. The Broncos scored an NFL record 606 points, becoming the first team to ever to eclipse 600 points in a season. They had more 50-point games in a season than any other team in NFL history, with 3. 4 Broncos receivers recorded at least 10 touchdowns, an NFL record, and Manning set the record for most 4+ touchdown passing games in a season, with 9. His 115.1 passer rating ranks 5th all-time, and he joins Tom Brady to be the only 2 QBs to have a passer rating of 110.0 or higher in more than one season. The Broncos went on to win their divisional round playoff game against the San Diego Chargers by a score of 24-17. They beat the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game by a score of 26-16. But lost to the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl XLI with a score of 43-8. Manning set a Super Bowl record with 34 completions, but the record-setting offense didn't record a first down until the second quarter, and didn't put points on the board until the final seconds of the third quarter. The Seahawks' number 1 ranked offense proved too much, while Manning, who threw 1 touchdown pass, also threw 2 costly interceptions, one which was taken back for a touchdown. Manning is the 3rd starting quarterback to have made it to the Super Bowl with more than one team, along with Craig Morton and Kurt Warner. Personal life: Manning was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, the son of Olivia and NFL quarterback Elisha Archibald Archie Manning III, both Mississippi natives. Peyton married his wife Ashley in Memphis on St. Patrick's Day, 2001. A graduate of the University of Virginia, Ashley was introduced to him by her parents' next-door neighbor the summer before Manning's freshman year in college. Peyton and wife Ashley have twins, a boy and a girl. Manning is a Christian. At age 13, Manning said, "I committed my life to Christ, and that faith has been most important to me ever since." Manning said his priorities ranked in order are faith, family, friends, and football. Manning said he prays every night and before games, and also said, "I hope I don't unregistered trademark do too many things that displease him before I get to heaven myself. I believe too, that life is much better and freer when you're unregistered trademark free, committed to God in that way." Manning reportedly has an excellent memory for plays. He memorized the Colts playbook within a week after being drafted, and in 2012 was able to precisely recall the details and timing of a specific play he had used at Tennessee 16 years earlier. During the summer, Archie, Peyton, Eli, and eldest sibling Cooper run the Manning Passing Academy, a 5-day camp which aims to improve the offensive skills of quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. In addition to the Mannings, the camp has included many prominent players from football as coaches, such as Colts wide receivers Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. Peyton, along with Archie, authored a book entitled Manning, A Father, His Sons, and a Football Legacy, which was released in 2000. The book covers Archie's and Cooper's lives and careers, and Peyton's life and career up to the time that the book was released, and examines football from both Archie's and Peyton's points of view. In 2009, Peyton, Eli, and Archie co-authored a children's book entitled Family Huddle, which describes in simple text and pictures how the three Manning brothers played football as young boys. Manning has donated over $8,000 to Republican politicians, among them Frederick Thompson, Bob Corker, and former President George W. Bush. On October 26, 2012, Manning purchased 21 Papa John's pizza franchises, all in Colorado. Manning and popular culture. Manning has been credited with helping to improve the image of the city of Indianapolis. A curator at the Indiana State Museum observed that there is no Super Bowl held here without Peyton. There is no Lucas Oil Stadium without Peyton. Without Peyton, the Colts would probably be in LA right now. He has become the NFL's most marketable player, appearing in several television and printed advertisements for some of the NFL's biggest sponsors. Manning made an appearance on Saturday Night Live's Sports Extra in 2008 in which he was in a children's football scene, and a high school basketball scene. An ESPN This Is Sports Center ad from 2006 features the entire Manning family. Parents Archie and Olivia, with their sons Peyton, Eli and Cooper, touring the Sports Center studios with Peyton and Eli engaging in horseplay behind everybody. He appeared in one of a series of directive commercials where celebrities are seen in their element, then suddenly begin addressing the viewer. In his commercial they parodied his pre-snap audible routine and known delay in calling for the ball by having him pitch NFL Sunday Ticket instead of changing the play during a blowout game against the Tennessee Titans. Manning also appears in advertisements for St. Mary's Medical Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. Manning hosted Saturday Night Live with musical guest Carrie Underwood on March 24, 2007, his 31st birthday. The episode earned the show's highest household rating in more than 10 months in the metered markets. During his opening, he alluded to his most marketable status by joking that he had accomplished two of his life goals, his team, the Colts, winning a Super Bowl and his appearance on over half of America's television commercials. He has also won the Favorite Male Athlete Award for the Kids' Choice Awards. On May 27, 2007 Manning waved the green flag to begin the 91st Indianapolis 500. In 2009, Manning guest-voiced on an episode of The Simpsons called Oh Brother, Where Bart Thou?, in which Bart dreams of having a baby brother and sees such famous brothers as the Marx Brothers, the Blues Brothers, the Wright Brothers, the Mario Brothers, and the Manning Brothers. In a 2012 interview, Star Wars novelist Drew Karpyshyn named Manning the NFL personality most likely to become a Jedi Knight. The guy always seems calm, cool and collected. He follows the Jedi mantra of there is no emotion, only peace. But he's still an incredible player. When he's on the field the Broncos are a contender. When he's not well, we saw what happened last year. Obviously he must be using the Force to get it done, right? Charitable works. Shortly after beginning his NFL career, Manning started his own charity, the Payback Foundation. The Payback Foundation's mission is to help disadvantaged kids, and focuses its efforts in Louisiana, Tennessee, and Indiana. For his work with this foundation, Manning received the Samuel S. Beard Award for Greatest Public Service by an individual 35 years or under, an award given out annually by Jefferson Awards. Manning, along with his brother Eli, volunteered their assistance in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. Among the tasks performed, the Mannings assisted in the delivery of 30,000 pounds of water, Gatorade, baby formula, diapers, and pillows to the people of New Orleans. On September 2007, St. Vincent Hospital in Indianapolis renamed its children's hospital to Peyton Manning Children's Hospital at St. Vincent. Manning and his wife made a donation of an undisclosed amount to St. Vincent's and have had a relationship with the hospital since his arrival in Indianapolis. The Manning Bowl. As of 2013, Peyton and Eli Manning's teams have played against each other 3 times in their professional careers. These encounters have been colloquially dubbed the Manning Bowl, and as of 2013, Peyton's teams hold a 3-0 record over Eli's team. The first Manning Bowl was held on September 10, 2006, and Peyton's Colts defeated Eli's Giants by a score of 26-21. The second Manning Bowl was held on September 19, 2010. Peyton and the Colts bested Eli's team again by a score of 38-14. The third Manning Bowl took place on September 15, 2013, and Peyton and the Broncos beat Eli's Giants, 41-23. Career awards and records. Major High School Awards, 1992, 1993 Louisiana Class 2A MVP, 1993 Gatorade Circle of Champions Award, 1993 Atlanta TD Club's Bobby Dodd Award, 1993 New Orleans Quarterback Club Player of the Year, 1993 Columbus, Ohio Touchdown Club Offensive Player of the Year, 1993 Gatorade High School Player of the Year, College Awards, College Records, Tennessee Volunteers Records, SEC Records, Lowest Interception Percentage, 1.05%, Highest Completion Percentage, 62.49%, Lowest Interception Percentage, 2.39%, Most 300-plus Passing Yard Games, 18, College Career Statistics, NFL Awards, 5x NFL MVP, 2004, 2008, 2009, 2013, 2x NFL Offensive Player of the Year, Best NFL Player ESPY Award, 2004, 2005, 13 Pro Bowl, 7 First Team All-Pro, 3 Second Team All-Pro, 2 Burt Bell Award, 8 AFC Offensive Player of the Year Awards, 1998 NFL All-Rookie First Team, 2004 FedEx Express Player of the Year, Best Record-Breaking Performance ESPY Award, 2005, 2014, 2005 Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, 2005 Byron Whizzer White Humanitarian Award, 2005 Pro Bowl MVP, 2007 Super Bowl MVP, 2007 Best Championship Performance ESPY Award, 2012 NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Additionally, Manning has been named the AFC Offensive Player of the Month a record 8 times and Offensive Player of the Week a record 26 times. NFL records. Manning holds a number of individual career records, regular season, playoff records, most 300-plus yard passing games, 8, most yards passing, first half of game, 360 versus Denver Broncos, 105, led the biggest comeback in conference championship game history, 107 versus New England, one of only 4 QBs to post a perfect 158.3 passer rating in a game, most games with 20-plus completions, 14, most games with 30-plus completions, 4, most games with 30-plus attempts, 17, most games with 40-plus attempts, 8, most completions and attempts in a single postseason, 97/153, one of only 2 quarterbacks to complete 80% of his passes in 2 playoff games, most consecutive postseasons with at least 1 start, 9, most postseason losses by a quarterback, 12, most first-round postseason losses by a quarterback, 8, rookie records, most touchdown passes, 26, most interceptions thrown, 28, most consecutive games with a touchdown pass, 13, most games with at least 1 touchdown pass, 15, most games with 300-plus yards passing, 4, with Marvin Harrison, Manning and former Colts wide receiver Marvin Harrison hold a number of QBWR tandem records, most completions receptions, 953, most passing receiving yards, 12,756, most passing receiving touchdowns, 112, most completions receptions in a season, QB to WR duo, 143. Most passing receiving yards in a season, QB to WR duo, 1,722. Pro Bowl records, most Pro Bowl selections for a QB, 13. Most consecutive Pro Bowl selections for a QB, 9. Most passing attempts, 150. Most passing attempts, 41. Most completions, 92. Most completions, 22. Most passing yards, 1,278. Most passing yards, 342. Most passing touchdowns, 13. Colts franchise records, Broncos franchise records, highest completion percentage, 68.6%. Most completions, 450. Most pass attempts, 679. Most passing yards, 5,477. Most 300-plus passing yard games, 12. Most 400-plus passing yard games, 3. Most touchdown passes, 7. Most touchdown passes, 55. Highest passer rating, 115.1. Most touchdown passes without an interception, 7. NFL career statistics, all statistics from Pro Football Reference, CBS Sportsline, and ESPN.